doing, pretty girl? Hi, Corinne. Come here, babies. How are you? Hey, guys, before I start, I'd like you to see this. Come here, baby. Do you guys remember when I would go near her and she would scream, right? Oh, my goodness. Look at that. You've come so far, baby girl. Yes, you have. She also is a snapper at a lot of dogs, but you saw her just do a little bit on Quinny there. Well, this is a pretty high-stress situation. But she's gotten so much better with everybody. She's part of the family, aren't you, baby girl? Isn't my baby girl part? I know.
Rocky.
And Charlie Murphy, look how far he's come out of nowhere. Anyway, so like I said in the post, in the lettering here, Maya, stop, honey. I got some news to tell you. I kind of teased on it yesterday in the video that I made about some big plans coming up. I figured I'd let you guys in on it, mainly because I want to actually ask your advice on this post on how to proceed with it, and tell you kind of some of the end goals that I have throughout that are going to hopefully occur over the next 1, 3, 5, 10 years and into the long-term future. I didn't ever intend on doing this, but as it grows, I see so much more that I could be doing, and I don't want to sit back. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I could be doing so much more, even though I can't personally do it all individually for each dog here, you know, as far as other than the ones that are here. Before I get into that, real quick, I just want to say thank you guys so much. I read a lot of your comments yesterday. Everybody was so supportive, and I just can't tell you how much I thank you for that. You know, I want you guys to know that I'm going to I let a lot of comments go, and I'm a huge believer in freedom of speech. So even if somebody doesn't agree with what we're saying, or what I'm saying, I should say, they have that right, they have that opinion. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the way it's brought across. If they directly antagonize me, that pisses me off. You can have all the opinions you want. It's just like, it's a respect thing to another human being. I would never, you know, attack somebody like that, so therefore I don't expect anybody to do it to me. Anyway, I would have even let the mass comments go because those were so petty, it's not even funny. But the reason I had to post yesterday, just so you know, is when it gets into doing something that you're finding out about something that's health related to the dogs, Major, you're gonna have to go, baby boy. You know, and then somebody tries to minimize it or make it into something political when it's literally 100% about saving lives for the dogs and making everybody wear stuff. You just cross the line with me, okay? And that's the shit I can't have. So my point is, guys, is I have an obligation to you guys as well. Especially, I've done a lot of thinking after this, or after yesterday, reading the posts, the comments, and everything like that. Right, Nugs? That's right. And I realized that I have an obligation to you guys. You guys have my back all the time, and I love you for that. And when I get hot like that, I kind of generalize everybody, even though you know I'm not talking about you. It's just like I do. I can't stand human nature. I can't stand people, especially in a social media setting. You know, any one of these people that you have problems with on social media, you get the 5 or 6 or 10 of you alone in a room, local, and you guys are like best friends. It's just so stupid how this changes us into like demons. So anyway, I have an obligation to you guys though that I'm not going to tolerate this shit, because what happens is that like on that post, you guys come to my defense, love you for it. But look at how much of a less of a person it makes you. We get to the point where we're pissed off pretty quick and name calling and just die and get off the page and F you and this, that, and the other. And now you're just as ugly as they are. And I'm just as ugly as they are. So I'd rather have me take the brunt of that shit so that I can lay down the law on the page at all times and have you guys kind of stay out of it. Like you don't, I don't want you to have to be, I don't want you to have to deal with that stuff, if you know what I mean. So thank you so much. Like I said, your comments showed me just how important, you know, especially the ones telling me that like a lot of you guys that aren't even on Facebook anymore, other than for this page, and it's the only thing that gets you through. I see so many comments saying, you know, in this messed up world right now, this is the only bit of enjoyment that you guys get. So for that, I gotta thank you, man. I just realized I have this huge responsibility, and it's an awesome one because at the end of the day, I just feel amazing. I feel great, not just for helping the dogs, but to say that wow, you know, I actually made another human being feel better, and that's big to me. So let's talk, and I'm talking fast because you know me, I have so much to say. I get sidetracked a lot, and I only get 15 minutes if I want to put this on Instagram. So here's the big idea. This is a sanctuary, as it's called. This is what it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It is retrofitted into my personal home. This home did not look like this 3 years ago. I had beautiful, beautiful hardwood floors throughout. I do hardwood floors for a living. I had some really nice furniture. I had a dining room table. I had a dining room. I never used a dining room, but I had it. Yeah, and now you look around and see what we got. I've retrofitted to make it look as appealing as possible for human beings to use, but this is really turning it over to them. And no matter how good of a job I've done, it's not ideal, okay? It's like I said, it's retrofitted. So what my next goal is, I want to create a sanctuary that's got a lot more facilities, you know, that's actually designed around them. Now here's the thing. To build that from the ground up, we're talking with acreage and all that, depending on where you put it, we're talking millions. Okay, that's a lot. That's way too much. And also, I don't want to put it here in Maryland. Everybody that doesn't know, the island is in central Maryland. Actually, there's no water around it. It's all land. We just call it the island. But, I want to do it in a place where I can make a difference. So there's epidemic areas in this country and outside of this country. And we're talking places like Florida, Puerto Rico, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, get into it more, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, California, you name it. Pretty much the whole southern coastline of this country is shit for dogs. And I know I can't save them all right now, but what if, guys, what if? And Puerto Rico made me realize this with all the dogs roaming the streets. What if I was to create a sanctuary that was more of a farm environment? Acreage, we're talking 10, 15, 20 acres of facility. And basically I set it up. There's a main house, there's staff housing, there's a veterinarian's office on site. There is an area for the sanctuary dogs that'll be there, however many they be. And with staff, oh gosh,
I know.
she's trying to get you. A large enough staff and grounds crew to basically be able to maintain everything. And basically, I would have the sanctuary dogs as part, and then I would have a whole much larger area, both indoors and outdoors, with shelter, food, safety, and all that kind of stuff, to where we could triage for other rescues in the area, if not the entire state, okay? And get these dogs in, and until they have a foster, or until, just get them out of the damn shelters, right? We get them vaccinated, we get them healthy, we get them neutered or spayed, we take care of any medical problems, and then they can sit here and get healthy as long as they need to. Now, they're not falling under my direct umbrella where I give them so much loving that I can't let go of them because it would not be fair to them. But they get the loving from our staff to know that people are on their side and everything. And then when the other rescues that I'd be working with need to have them adopted out or whatnot, they come pick them up and they take them on their way. There's a lot of fine points on this that I didn't just touch on. There's a lot of things that are, in the works as far as like little nuts and bolts of this thing to make it really awesome.
Put your hood up.
All right. But that's my goal. I want to start, the first facility would be in north central Florida, looking in somewhere around the Ocala area. And the reason why is it's inland, so I don't have to worry about flooding from hurricanes. It's still warm enough year-round for this to happen, and I can find horse farms there, guys. I've been looking on Zillow and a couple other places. I have numerous people looking, actually. Found numerous that I want to actually go scope out. And we're talking about $500,000 up to $750,000, depending on acreage and facilities already on the premises. And most of the ones on the premises can very easily and simply be retrofitted to what we would need for the dogs. They're all tile floors or concrete floors, which I can make epoxy very easily. So they're very clean, they're very sterile. It just makes a lot of sense to do this. So I'm going to move the sanctuary. Now, the cool thing is, and I'm going to do the shameless plug again, I have developed enough merchandise, and especially healthcare products with the CBD line and the healthcare and the very, very, very soon to be Parvo kits coming out that do nothing but help dogs. Okay, I'm very proud to say this. I can say that I'm making a living actually helping others. You know what I mean? And that, you have no idea how good that feels. So any of our CBD products, any of the money from those have been put in a separate account since day one, and we're saving up, and we're making some good money so far. Now, my big thing is that I want to do the first sanctuary for cash. I don't want to have a bank loan. I don't want to pay interest to a bank and say, okay, well, I have a $3,000 mortgage, and $1,200 of it every month goes to the bank. That's $1,200 a month that can go to the dogs. And that pisses me off right there that I have to give it to the bank. Sorry, I hate it. If I can do it for cash. So here's the thing. At the current rate, it's going to take me probably 1.5 to 2 years without asking for a dime from anybody, just selling those products, if they stay stable at the level they're at, which they should only go up from this point, to literally be able to pay for this for cash. I have no problem with doing it that way, but I've been talking to some advisors. I've also been talking to some of my top fans, and not Facebook top fans, but top fans are fans that actually have broken down my walls. We talk on a semi-regular basis. They're not intrusive, but at the same time, we reach out on Messenger, and some of them even by text, and we talk. And so I've asked them their advice on this, and one of them mentioned to me that there was a rescue up in Canada. It started with a pig, I believe, and forgive me for not knowing everybody's business, but they literally put a GoFundMe up for funds to build this sanctuary, and they raised over $650,000 or something ridiculous like that. Hey, baby, it's okay. So I got to thinking, should I go ahead and do that? No, Skylar, you've been a terror lately. Little tiny thing, little tiny body with a big old attitude. So it got me thinking, and I don't want to just put a GoFundMe up because I have all these questions and fears and doubts. But I wanted to see what you guys thought. So, let's say I put the GoFundMe, like I'm gonna give you all the options here. Let's say we put the GoFundMe up, and miraculously, the 350,000 people that actually follow this page, even though there's not a lot less likes, there's actually 350 to follow it, and 80,000 to follow it on Instagram. I put it up, and everybody donates $2, which we know that doesn't work that way, right? There's almost $1 million right there. Boom, we could do this, do it all for cash, even still have money left over to start paying, continue to pay salaries, have medical expenses and all that, and start to do some remodeling as necessary for the facility. And I've already talked to a lot of close rescues that I deal with in these states that are willing to do this. And they're all for it. And as a matter of fact, I've talked to a couple transport companies that I work with, and we'd safely be able to transport my dogs down in relatively. Hey, babies!
Hey.
It's just Maya. It's okay. Stop it, Daisy, Maya. You two are the biggest dogs here. Stop crying like little girls. It is a little bit of a tiny baby whine for such a big girl. Hold on, guys. Stay with me. I need a couple of minutes. So there it is. And here's the thing. I'm gonna briefly go into like large-term expansion. I want to get this off the ground and running. I want to fine-tune it. I want to get it perfect. And I'm going to do this one way or the other, with the funding or without the funding, because I believe it's going to work. And I believe I can help so many more. So many dogs can come and go as they please, or as everybody sees fit, to save them. We don't have to get them into a home right away. Just get them on the property. We got lodging for them. We got food. We got caretaking. They can live a happy, temporary, halfway home life until we can find a permanent home. And they can advertise through all their own rescue pages and everything. Hi, Charlie. My baby boy. And maybe even the rescues can start working together. I want to build this network. Puerto Rico will be the second place. I want to put hundreds of acres up there. I want to put, and land's cheap there. I want to put so much acreage that I can put a high fence facility, because the dogs are walking the street anyway. Imagine we get a triage center. We have a sanctuary. We have everything I just mentioned in the other one. But we have this high fence area with plenty of shade, plenty of food, plenty of water throughout the property. And the ones that are feral, that can never be tamed, they just roam the property, already fixed, already vaccinated, safe, not getting hit by cars, drugged behind cars, the fireworks set to their nuts, anything like that, like the people that down there are doing to them. Unfortunately, these are examples that I've actually seen. The ones that can be adopted, get adopted. The ones that are so delicate that they need sanctuary, we can have a sanctuary there. And then the ones that are just, they're going to always be unadoptable, they're wild, just roam the property and live your life. You're safe behind high fences, and then I want to move into Texas, and so on and so forth. So these are long-term goals, and I think they can be achieved. And if I have to, I'll finance every damn bit of it with the CBD. I'll continue to expand it. I'll start figuring out how to monetize it and advertise it, because I suck at marketing. But then on top of all that, last thing I'm going to say, there's bigger plans down the road. I'm a 501c3. That's a nonprofit. One of the things that means is that I cannot get 13 minutes. Okay. That I cannot get political. I cannot lobby. I cannot talk to my congressman about changing laws. But I have friends who are 501c4. Okay? A 501c4 is a nonprofit that can actually change laws. They can lobby if we have enough following. Guys, is that somebody here? That would be my luck. Okay, real quick. So, point being is I've been in business in the flooring industry for 25 years. It's governed by one universal nonprofit body that sets all the rules and regulations for the entire industry. Imagine we could do that in the pet industry. Imagine we could do that and we could start setting rules for the AKC, for shelter systems, for dog food companies. Imagine we could get enough power behind us and we get babies. I'll have to finish that one up later. The dogs are distracting me. It's those damn West Virginian bobsledders. They're freaking annoying. I love them to death, but they don't ever cooperate. They're just loud. They just think they're entitled. Look at her, prancing around. So anyway, thank you guys. I'll talk much later down the road about putting a nonprofit network organization together that governs our entire industries: rescues, sanctuaries, shelters, veterinarians, both holistic and modern medicine. I want them all to work together. I want them all to have a say. I don't want to be in charge of this. I'd love to be a member. I'd love to have influence to help build it. But I'd love to find somebody that can run this thing, that's benevolent, that's honest. So these are some of my long-term, down-the-road goals, is to bring all the people that care about dogs, instead of being a bunch of, forgive the term, chicken head rescuers where we got to save everyone right now and we can't because we're in debt to the vets and all this other shit. I want to build a network together where we can work together across the country and we can make such a bigger impact for Chihuahuas, then Pit Bulls, and all the other dogs out there, and then finally, hopefully, take care of the whole epidemic. Wrapping it up, thank you guys.